Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro.
My chauffeur.
Welcome.
Almost at the farm, gonna stop for something to eat. It's gonna be tricky.
This adventure comes with a little bit of a twist. I had a bit of a bike accident, I think 4 weeks prior to this hunt that we had booked 6 months in advance, and we were unable to cancel the hunt, so things were going to be challenging on a level that I'd never experienced before. But we were up for the challenge.
All of that under there is from solid away from the bottom. Yeah, from inside the Is it raw? Uncut? Some of it's cut, but it's there. Yeah, it's raw. Not pop.
So it kicks out.
It's a bit of a shit one.
Shooting right.
Like cherry, bro.
Yeah.
Hey guys, so I've come for my giraffe hunt for 2019, and something that I've never spoken about is my arrow setup for giraffe. Like, a lot of people have asked me, blazer vanes with a 2-blade fixed blade single bevel. They say, how do you get it to group? It took me a long time. If you look, I don't just have a standard turn on my fletchers. I've actually got like a right helical on it, and my total arrow weight all in, we're looking at 720 grains. Some guys say it's not heavy enough, but out of all my past experiences on my giraffe hunts, I've done 3 before this one, they've penetrated flawlessly. Everything has been absolutely perfect. So, people ask, what setup to use. To me, the best setup to use is the setup that works best on your bow, and I can't fault these arrows. They've never given me any issues, and everything I've ever shot with them, it's put them on the ground, and the penetration has been so far superior. I'm using a FMJ Dangerous Game 300 spine with a 50 grain brass insert and 175 grain grizzly stick samurais, and those broadheads are the business. They work fantastically.
With the amount of preparation that goes into a giraffe hunt, one can only imagine the amount of equipment that needs to be taken with to make this hunt successful, hunting wise and logistically wise, to get the meat back. Arriving mid to late morning, the heat going into summer now was, you could say, boiling. So we hung around camp for the greater part of the afternoon until about 3:30, where we went out to the shooting range and checked that my plan B was sighted in. My goal for this hunt was to do it with a bow on foot, but we weren't sure of the success rate of this, with me being on crutches and not being allowed to put any weight on my legs, so we had to have a plan B in case. After the shooting range, we headed up to a road called Sunset Ridge. I know now why they call it Sunset Ridge.
Lekker boys. What you say, bro?
Long day, Jenna.
Well, day 2, we didn't waste any time. We were up first thing. The weather was quite strange. It would be sunny and then it would cloud over again like it wanted to rain, and back and forward. So we got kitted, made sure everything was in check, and we headed out. A friend of ours that planned to hunt for us, we split up into 2 groups to see if we could maybe try and locate the giraffe a little bit easier, but the first morning we had no luck, not at least in the first part of the morning.
Dave, we got a visual on the young bull and the old cow and the young one.
Yeah, there's nothing on my side. I've only seen kudu, zebra, impala, wildebeest, but no sign of giraffe.
That's clearly the only thing that you didn't see. You've bloody seen everything.
Oh, look at the kudu bull that I saw. This thing is huge. Complete inaccessible place.
Fucking I left this weather like okay. Come on, you. We will eat something and then come look for him again. Spot on. Spot on. Okay, let's go have a look.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet to me. I mean, they're not in the yellow, but if you look at your vital on a giraffe, this is about a 20 by 20. And if you think a giraffe's heart is the size of a match rugby ball, that's pretty sweet and spot on for me. Also, these broadhead butts, check it. They're different to some of the other broadhead butts. A lot of them have like a coating over it, which makes it pretty hard. Wildcrete literally just makes the full mold in this color, and then they spray on top, so you don't have the durability of your broadhead butt. Is also a lot stronger and it lasts a lot longer. It also makes it a lot easier to pull your arrows out. So yeah, they're pretty sweet. Let's go scout.
Well, we
Almost ready?
came back to camp, put some food in the tank, recharged our batteries, checked that the bow was 100%
You ready for this, buddy?
and everything was in place and ready to roll. So we headed out again, and I don't even think it was 5 to 10 minutes after heading out, and we found my giraffe bull. The hunt was on.
Just careful that.
Well, the first stalk was a bust. Cow and a younger giraffe to our right that we didn't. Well, we saw them, but when you're in that zone, you don't. Well, what can you say? Bit of a mistake we made. But we carried on walking, and I think my first stalk was no less than about 3 kilometers. And in my opinion, I think the stalking on this hunt had to be probably the most difficult stalk I've ever done in my entire life. but nothing stops us.
It's the biggest giraffe I've hunted. I'm happy to carry on. I'll walk. What's that? It's from them. Fish. They're not giraffe.
No, I don't think. No, it's not giraffe.
Zebra.
We pushed on, got back to the vehicle and started driving a bit further on to see if we could relocate the giraffe. After a couple of kilometers of driving around, we found the bull again and we put another stalk on. He didn't stand really long enough for us and they were pretty skittish, so it was difficult to get within bow range.
Let's pick up speed. Yeah.
Came back onto the road, started walking down the road to see that bull had stopped and the opportunity I'd hoped for presented itself. That perfect broadside shot.
It's a perfect shot. There, he's slowing down. It was a perfect shot. Put blood up. Crazy.
After seeing my giraffe run further than what the rest I've hunted had,
Yeah, but let's go.
I did start to get a bit nervous. I knew my shot was perfect, but I don't know, it was just a little bit strange. We walked down the road for about 75 meters, and as we hooked a left in onto a side road, we saw the giraffe probably 100 meters into the bush, on his last leg, staggering, and I think within 3 seconds of us seeing him, he went down. Probably the most grueling stalk and grueling hunt of my entire life had come to an end, but at the same time, it was probably the most rewarding hunt of my entire life.
One shot, took on one. Take it from me. Thanks, John. Yeah, I hit him a little bit low, but I suppose he could traverse up.
Yeah, you're shooting upwards.
Perfect in line with the front leg. Right there. Thank you, Davy.
Well done.
Thanks a lot for organizing this.
Arrow gone, eh?
It's big boy, eh?
I don't know, you might find there's a bit of the arrow inside him still. I'm not sure if it exited or not, but... Okay. We got it done. It's it doesn't feel real, but against all odds and 12 days out of major surgery, I think if my surgeon and my physio found out about this, they'd kill me. We booked a giraffe hunt probably about, when was it? About 6 months ago, Davy? 6 months?
Correct.
And they really needed to take this bull off. He was getting really old. You'll see probably from his teeth and his condition of his skin, he's getting really old, he's really dark. So we couldn't cancel the hunt, so it was against all odds, so we decided to do it on crutches, and it was really cool that we got to do it on foot. It was an awesome stalk. We got to 35 meters, dropped the arrow, hit about 2 inches too far forward, but he went about 200 meters before he went down. Versus a usual center hard shot is about 50 meters, so you know that's always great. And yeah, 35 meter shot through the heart, went as good as it could, and followed up on the blood for 100 meters. We saw him 100 meters further on, and as we saw him, he fell over, and that was that. He was stoned. So it's been an incredible hunt, and you know, without the help of everyone, my dad and Quasi Safaris, all the guys from the farm here, James on the camera, helping me with my bow while we were stalking. It wasn't the first stalk, I think it was the second or third stalk we did. James was holding my bow, and then as we get to the animal, off the crutches, draw the bow, it went as good as it could have gone. So against all odds, we got it done. Thanks everyone, I really appreciate it, and I'm really grateful.
Well, now that we had the giraffe on the ground, the real work started. Recovering and getting him back to the camp to get him slaughtered and into the cool room. This task itself is a nightmare, and sitting on the sidelines and watching it for the first time versus being involved in it made me really realize the work and effort that goes into recovering a giraffe.
So I'll just leave it like that kind of thing. Drive slowly back. Yeah, dude, so the amount of involvement that goes into a hunt, I think you can see it now. It's not just putting it on the ground and loading it on the back of the bakkie, and you know, that's the work starts when the animal hits the ground. You know, I mean, the guys that help us, Happy works for Quasi Safaris, very good at his job. They do an outstanding job. You know, they come back here, we offload the animal, they slaughter the animal. I mean, you can see here, like, the animal's on the ground, but it's on the skin, so it's not technically on the ground. You know, so that's always a good thing. You know, I mean, it's on the ground, but it's clean. You know, and you know, we've got to. I always believe, you know, hunting with a good outfitter when you go hunting. I mean, you know, I might be involved with Quasi Safaris quite a bit, but I mean, always hunt with an organized outfitter. The arrow came in and it came out, right at the back of the shoulder here. So I mean, I got full penetration on a giraffe with a 720 grain arrow. I get a very flat trajectory out of this arrow, and to me, if you got a recipe that ain't broke, don't fix it. So, you know, I'll hunt buffalo with this arrow with a smile on my face yesterday. You know, so I mean, if I can take down giraffe with an arrow like this, you know, I look at it as one day when the time comes, the buffalo is going to be easier. So
the end of the day, there's a lot of preparation that goes into the hunt. There's a lot of work that goes into the hunt after the animal's down, and you know, this is just a little bit of something to show you what goes into it. My dad Kevin, the outfitter in Quasi Safaris, and Dave, good friend of ours. You know, the amount of effort that goes into a hunt like this it's mental. I mean, you can go and do a giraffe hunt, but it's not just going to happen like this.
Speak up.
There's a lot of work that goes into a hunt like this. Thanks, legit. I mean, most hunting farms have a cool room. This farm doesn't have this farm isn't really a hunting farm. It was more of a cull management hut. So, you know, when you're going to hunt at a place that doesn't have the facilities, you need to go prepared. So, you know, every little bit of this meat's gonna get used. We make biltong out of it. We sell meat to locations in Joburg, people that don't have, you know, resources to get good, clean meat. I mean, when you can give someone, you know, meat at like really good, clean, organic meat, I mean, you're doing something right. You know? So this is just a little sum up of behind the scenes of why I hunt.
Well, the last morning we headed up the mountain to where they have their vulture restaurant usually, and we dropped off some of the bones and some skin and a bit of the stomach and stuff to see if vultures or jackal or things like that would come in. We put a trail camera up, but unfortunately didn't get much on the trail camera. And later that afternoon we decided, or should I say I decided to say to James, you know, it's been a long time since he's hunted, so we've been seeing baboon quite close to the camp quite often, every day at around 2 p.m. So we headed out to, you know, kind of their path, close to their path where they usually used to walk past, and waited, wanted to see if, you know, James could get a crack at something.
If we see them coming in from a distance, we'll try and position ourselves somewhere else where it's easier to get a shot. Because I see them pretty soon. But they're coming out too. You will definitely see them because they're always coming from the side. They just open area. Crutches are useful for more than just walking. How do you feel? Steady. Cherry. Just take your time, eh? Aim for his head. Can you see him walking to the right still? Can you still see him? You still see him? No, but he was still walking.
Well, baboon are smart. They didn't come on their normal path. They came over the mountain, and we saw them, and James got up and put a dead rest on a tree and took the shot.
We tried.
We didn't come right, but you know, he paid the price. What we call in South Africa, he had a strafdop for that one.
Leg is rattling over here, my teeth chattering.
Well, here it is after a really great week in the field and a serious personal accomplishment for myself. Everyone was telling me I was crazy, and yes, I know, I agree, it was dangerous. I could have done damage to my leg, but it's about doing things in moderation and making sure that we're extra careful. I didn't think I'd ever be able to achieve a Spartan stalk bow hunt on crutches. I searched on YouTube before this and I couldn't find anything, and I thought it would be special personally to myself to be able to accomplish something like this, and to also portray to people out there that you can do anything you put your mind to. It's all up in your head. It's all a mental game, and if you can conquer that mental game and give it your absolute all, put the pain aside. I think my hands from this hunt after that first day were absolutely destroyed. Even drawing my bow back for that shot was painful, but I had to do it. It was just, I had a dream and had a vision that I wanted to make this happen, and I wanted to put it up on the internet for people to see that you can do anything that you put your mind to. All this being said, I could have never done this hunt alone. Never ever in my entire life could I have done this alone. And there's a few people involved in this hunt, and you guys know who you are. And I'd just like to really thank you guys and tell you how grateful I am for all your help, because this hunt wouldn't have happened without you guys. I'd also really like to thank and say how grateful I am to all the brands that support South African hunting in general. You guys do more than you know for this channel, and if it wasn't for the people that endorse South African Hunting Journal, I wouldn't be making these videos. So I'm really grateful for everyone that makes this happen. I wouldn't be where I am now without the help and support of everyone that helps me make this a reality. This is South African Hunting Journal.